fair is just one big party with the artist and the fans, and they come see you play, and they get an autograph.
I'm an Indian outlaw, at Cherokee and Choctaw. My baby, she's a Chippewa, she's a one of a kind.
You know, these people, they're incredible. They really are. I mean, they wait all year long. They save their money, and they take their vacations to come see a guy like me.
How are you?
Sarah with an H.
This is our fourth year.
Fourth year, and we love it. We come every year for it.
This is my 10th year.
There's always something different happening. That's why we like it.
It's getting better every year.
You know, the thing I admire the most, I think, about country fans is their loyalty. Once people liked you, they liked you forever.
The relationship that most country artists have with their fans is very close. You know, it's kind of funny, as I travel around, I play for crowds of thousands and thousands of people, but it gets to a point where sometimes you recognize some people.
You won't see a scene like this with any other kind of music.
Nice to meet you.
So what is it about country music that brings all these people together?
This is family, and I think it's about country music because this isn't done in any other format. This is a chance to get right up smack dab close to somebody that you really admire. And that's probably why I do it, because I know that it means more than just the music to these people. This is a relationship here.
In country music, there's a sense of morality and of family values and respect for other artists, respect for yourself, respect for the heritage of country music. I think that's the thing that is really the constant.
We are common folks, and we like to make music, and, you know, I mean, we're not above anybody, you know?
I don't think there's any music that can grab your heart as quickly as country music. Pop is cool and it's slick and it'll get you involved. Rock will get you excited about things, but if you want to get somebody's heart, you better listen to country music.
And in the 1990s, everyone has been listening. Country music has never been bigger, has never mattered so much. More than any other kind of music, it's been the soundtrack to this decade of American life.
I'll be here and easy to find.
I think what happened in the early 90s was unbelievable. We have artists out there selling 10 million records, which in 1980 was totally unheard of. To sell 1 million records would have been phenomenal.
And I think we'll look back on 88 through 97 as the boom years. I don't know if we'll ever quite recapture that. We might. I know the bean counters in LA and New York sure hope we do.
But put the numbers aside for a moment, because in country music, the bottom line is still a song.
He was the kind of guy who loved so unselfishly, and everyone could see what a prize he was, everyone but me.
The thing that always makes it good when it is really good is the music, are the songs. And no matter what happens to our industry, when it has its ups and downs or when it becomes really commercial and people forget about the heart of it, it always gets back around to that.
Bye-bye, baby, goodbye. Bye-bye, baby, goodbye.
It's funny, people say today, well, what is country music? It's an evolving art form, but it seems like it's always been about spirit and soul and good times and real living.
And to find out how that spirit spread around the world in the 90s, you have to start with one man.
For all these years he's been chasing this dream they call honky tonk, and it's love blood, it's the dust of love, the door of a Sunday ground.
Concerts, and there was no holding back.
Garth Brooks has gone on to sell more albums than any solo act ever. More than Elvis Presley, more than Michael Jackson.
He was an artist that really crossed a lot of boundaries and became a household name and made a lot of people aware of country music.
Well, that broken home and broken bones is all you'll have to show.
And Brooks helped country find a new audience, one that's not in the country, it's in the suburbs. The success that Garth Brooks found inspired dozens of young male singers in Nashville. Some people call them the Hat Acts.
And though I make mistakes, I'll never break your heart. I swear.
We're a bunch of good old cowboys that just loved wearing our cowboy hats. We love singing country music, and we have a bunch of us waiting to get an opportunity to do it. And I think, you know, when Garth finally kicked the door open for us, we came in there.
Let me tell you now, friend, down Tinker, she's all I've got. In my heart, I'll always see everywhere.
All of a sudden, you had a million young guys in tight Wrangler jeans and hats singing about pickup trucks and the rodeo and so on. And obviously, that doesn't work for everyone.
Of course, you know, we got criticized hard for it. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I'll tell you what, we made a lot of people happy.
With Donnie under on the Chattahoochee, where it gets hotter than a hoochie coo. We laid rubber on the Georgia asphalt. We got a little crazy, but we never got caught.
The suburban cowboys made everyone happy. By 1995, country music was a $2 billion a year business. And the women were about to be heard from.
Okay, so you're a rocket scientist.
Star. If you're like a lot of folks, probably a woman. Shania Twain, Faith Hill, the Dixie Chicks, and my personal favorite, LeAnn Rimes, are among today's biggest stars. And look around. Female country artists appear on magazine covers, in movies of the week, and all over the World Wide Web. They're leading country music into the next millennium.
I think women have totally pretty much dominated the whole music industry over the past like 3 or 4 years.
There's your trouble, there's your trouble. Singing double with the right one. And you can see, I love you, you can see. She doesn't, but she just keep on holding on. There's your trouble.
There's a lot more independent women out there, single moms, or women that are just in the business world and taking a stronger stand, you know, for things, and the music reflects that.
Everybody kind of ignored the females because they didn't think the money was there. They thought the money was only on the male acts, so they kind of let the female acts do what they want. And lo and behold, the female acts ended up doing the best music in country music in the 90s.
Well, word gets around in a small, small town. They said he was a dangerous man. But Mama was proud and she stood her ground. She knew she was on the losing end.
Women dominate the country charts as never before, and they've done it by making music with a point of view.
I have sung songs that are about issues that previously really hadn't been addressed, especially in country music. Songs like Independence Day and A Broken Wing.
He'd break her spirit down, then come loving up on her. Give a little and take it back.
Those songs are a little bit unique and different and defiant, I guess. And also, you know, I just tend to sing songs that portray women with a lot of strength and dignity and respect. The music that women are making now is just unique, individual. I don't sound like Trisha Yearwood's music. Trisha Yearwood's music doesn't sound like Faith Hill's music. We bring a sense of ourselves to the music.
If you ever leave, baby, you would take away everything good in my life.
Country music's female artists don't sound alike, but they have the same goal in mind, to broaden country's audience.
They said, I bet they'll never make it, but just look at us holding on.
Shania Twain's audience is so broad, she's become one of the world's most popular recording artists.
You're still the one I run to, the one that I belong to.
Today, more than ever, there's something for everybody. In country music, you got Shania doing what she does, which to me isn't country music, but it is. In today's market, it is country music. And I like it. And a lot of other people like it.
So many people like what country's women are doing that Nashville's image has changed completely in the 90s. And with women taking the lead, country music artists have crossed over in every way.
The artists of today, you know, are wearing Richard Tyler and Armani and everything else. So all of a sudden, you know, country females were given the nod by fashion magazines and by New York 7th Avenue and things like that, you know, sort of gave it more legitimacy.
And now, a word from our sponsors.
Did you ever fall in love over a Coca-Cola?
Country stars have become favorites of advertisers, selling everything from soft drinks to credit cards and, of course, pickup trucks. Commercials have brought these artists the kind of exposure that helps drive CD sales into the millions.
Ford Country, gonna kick up some dust.
I've had people, you know, come up and say, oh, my kid just loves that commercial. They sing it all the time. It's pretty odd, you know, they really like the commercials that much, but I guess, you know, I've done that too, you know, just sing along some commercial ad.
Yeah, there's been a lot of money flash in our face, but we do things like candies because we wear candy shoes, and we did before they asked us to do the ads for them, and because it is about the music. If we happen to wear candy shoes and they want to take some pictures of us wearing them, then we will.
Hollywood has gone country too.
Welcome to our humble home, buddy.
I'm busy. You come back when I'm open.
No.
Appearances in movies and on TV bring country artists exposure they never had before. These appearances help them become stars, not just in country music, but in mainstream America.
Hey, that you, Nash?
Very nice, Tammy. How you doing?
Well, I'm still singing as good as ever, but I don't have your record contract.
Suppose I just shot you. I bet I'd flush out whoever you got backing you up.
Just stunning.
Thank you very much.
Country artists are more visible than ever, and more eyes are watching their every move.
There's a lot of pressure on artists. You know, not only do they have to put out a great album, but they have to appeal, I guess, to, you know, people's eye as well. So, you know, that's fun for us. We love getting dressed up and being girls and doing the, you know, the fashion thing and all that. But it's a little bit of pressure, too.
I think the image is pretty much what it's about now.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to meet you.
But I think women have a little bit more room to run with it and change than men do.
Your music always has to back you up. I mean, there's nothing that will ever say, you know, a pretty face can be able to have success. I mean, the music always has to be there. Mm-hmm.
I can love you better than that. I can love you better. I can love you better than that. Baby, I can love you, baby, I can love you better.
Billy Ray Cyrus e sua banda! Oh, you can build a little
yourself in a happy mood.
Country artists have always been among America's greatest musical ambassadors.
Tap your foot and tap your toe.
And audiences overseas have always been curious about the music Americans listen to most. Even the Cold War thawed a bit. Tennessee Ernie Ford visited the Soviet Union in 1974.
Let me tell you what to do. Your feet, little buttons.
The real first influx of country music worldwide was during and after the war, in the 40s. And from that point on, country music did pretty well around the world. Artists like Jim Reeves, Patsy Cline, Tammy Wynette, Johnny Cash, those people were big stars in Europe and around the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kenny Rogers.
What's the heart? You can't make it. You can't take it if it's real. What's the heart? You can't make it just by saying what you feel.
In the past, international stars like Kenny Rogers appealed to overseas audiences because their music was marketed as pop. Today is no different.
In recent years, there's been another phenomenon, which is a little bit of what I would call a pop crossover phenomenon. An artist like Shania Twain or LeAnn Rimes has success internationally because they get played on radio.
Come on! I just want to dance the night away. Where senorita's can say.
The very pop stuff like the Mavericks and Faith Hill and Shania Twain, those records tend to translate very well.
Thank you, London!
For us, the reaction overseas has been terrific. We've been able to survive, not only financially, but be able to make a living and work, and because, you know, you don't have to worry about the radio thing. You can go over there, and if they like you, you're going to get to play.
Some of the liveliest country music scenes are happening in some of the most unlikely places, like Japan.
Charlie Nagatani's had a festival there for quite a while called Country Gold, which is a big festival in Kumamoto, and there's another one up by Mount Fuji.
Japanese people, they were great. They were so much fun. They were all holding up signs, you know, and they're fun fans to have. They're really wild.
If you go to Tokyo, it's a ride. You walk into a place and you think you're in Nashville. I mean, it's like so country, it's ridiculous. Everyone's drinking Jack Daniels and dressed up in the cowboy thing, you know, it's like over the top.
Da música country americana, Billy Ray Cyrus e sua banda.
Brazil is another emerging market where Nashville is trying to make inroads.
Brazil has a very large country music industry. In fact, the artists in Brazil that are the biggest selling country artists sell millions of records. The largest artist there has sold over 20 million albums.
Don't tell my heart, my achy, breaky heart. I just don't think you understand.
Why is the world curious about country? For one thing, it's American.
The people we were playing for were really into the American thing, especially if it was like the cowboy-looking thing. You know, they really dug that for some reason. So the music that I did kind of went with that whole image, and so they liked it.
But Nashville doesn't just export, it imports. Aspiring artists come to Music City from all over the world.
Nou, ik ben geen virtuoos, ik speel wel gitaar, maar...
There's an artist by the name of Ilse de Lang, who is a Dutch girl, who was brought to Nashville by Warner Brothers, sent back to Holland. Her album came out. Second week it went to #1 on the pop charts. And now she is being released in England, Germany, Scandinavia, South Africa.
Welcome to my world of make-believe.
This really is global peace through country music, as I like to say. The circle of acts from other countries doing country music, bringing it over here as well as us going there. Not dissimilar to what rock and roll did when the Beatles brought rock and roll back, because it was an American export. It took a while to be absorbed, understood, made their own. Now it's a circle. It's everywhere. It's a world music thing.
Watch over you each night, calm you of your fears.
One of the things that's helping to bring country around the world is the internet.
Country music will benefit because of the global network. If you look at the profile of an internet user, it's people who can't get enough information. If you look at the profile of a country music fan, they can't get enough. They are interested in their artists, they're interested in the artist's music, they're interested in their tours, they're interested in information.
Who would you say is your biggest musical influence?
That's hard. I couldn't really answer that.
For artists, the internet is a way of staying close to their fans.
I can log on and see what everyone is saying. We loved the show. We hated your leather pants. We loved your leather pants. What kind of velour shirt was that? Whatever it is, whether they thought I was great or they thought that the room we were playing in was too boomy and they heard too much bass and they couldn't hear enough me, whatever it is, I get to hear it and I read them all and I see what people have to say.
I graduated in 1976.
It's fan mail for the 90s. It's fan mail for the new millennium because if they send you a message and put it on the message board today, you get it today.
And by tomorrow, the way country fans buy their music will change too.
I envision a day when somebody will be sitting out in their house and they'll get to sample a piece of one of our artists' music and just push a button and download it, you know, just like you're ordering a pay-per-view movie. And I think that'll be a wonderful day. Be a great day for music.
If this is for the best, why are you stealing my heart? Yeah, you're stealing my soul.
But however country fans get it, country music will always be about songs. And there's a debate going on in Nashville today about just what a country song is.
Let me let go. Now the lines have all been drawn. The vows we made began to fade, but now they're gone.
It's not the first time in this century of country that this question has been asked. Has country lost touch with tradition by trying too hard to score on the pop chart?
Country music is religion to me. If you're country, you're country. If you're pop, go to New York or somewhere, you know, and get in there with them. Get it over with.
You can kiss me in the moonlight, on the rooftop under the sky. Oh, you can kiss me with the windows open while the rain comes pouring inside. Oh, kiss me in sweet slow motion, let's let everything slide. You got me floating, you got me flying.
Country music always gets in cycles where it gets traditional and then it gets more pop and pop and pop. And then it does a nosedive and it starts at traditional again and it goes pop, pop. I've been through myself. This is the fourth cycle I think I've been through.
What's happened is that everybody's trying to make pop music as opposed to country music. And, you know, where are the cheating and drinking songs?
They're gone, along with a lot of other things that once made a song a country song.
Fix me up my head, please. Honey, I'm back, my head's killing me. I need to relax and watch TV. Get off the phone, hit the dog a bone. Hey, hey, honey, I'm home.
Right now, all kinds of music are kind of blending together. I think pop has gone country, country has gone pop. I mean, everything's kind of blended into each other, and it's kind of almost one form of music. I kind of started that whole thing, and a lot of people have been doing it, and it's really brought a lot of people to country music.
Yeah, I've had promises broken, 3 words left unspoken. They just left me aching for more. But I find temptation, I won't be impatient. There's one thing that's vibrating more. Come meet me.
For artists like Shania Twain or Garth Brooks or LeAnn Rimes or somebody like that, they've went out on a limb and done something really different, which is, really changed the format. But I think it's been for the better. I think, there's more people listening to country music now than ever and giving it a chance.
Trisha Yearwood and How Do I Live? This is Nashville 95 WSM-FM.
Most people still listen to country music on the radio, and country radio stations still determine which songs become hits.
Nashville 95 WSM-FM. Get up! Here's our buddy Vince Gill.
I don't like to talk about the state of radio because, on one hand, it's awful, and on the other hand, I got 6-week number 1, so I'm not a bitch.
For me to be able to make a living at it for years down the road, I have to make my music available for radio.
You woke up this morning, changes were taking place.
And I'll get trashed from time to time from critics because I tend to always make sure that I've got an album that radio will feel good about playing.
I'd argue with just about anybody who can name me a legitimate country song on country radio. I mean, I just don't hear them.
Where's that guy with the redness on? Someone's calling down.
But radio doesn't have the last word on what is or isn't country.
Take me back to Tulsa. I'm too young to marry. Take me back to Tulsa, boys. I'm too young to wed.
All right, good to see you.
Alternative country music, a brand of country with a more traditional flavor, flourishes at small clubs and independent labels.
There's a lot of different kind of music that fits under the country label. But what ends up happening is some of the different kinds don't get major labels. They don't get distribution like that, and they don't get, they're a big shot.
For artists like Kelly Willis and Chris Knight, getting their big shot means tough choices. Make the music they want or make the music radio wants.
It'd be nice to have some commercial success and get the music out and have a lot of people hear it, a lot of people like it.
There ought to be a town somewhere named for how I feel. Yeah, I could be the mayor down there and say, welcome to Sorryville.
I feel like I've done good, I haven't sold out or compromised, I'm doing what it is that I think I should be doing as far as my music is concerned.
It ain't easy being me.
Alternative country is now, I think, more of a rootsy kind of real country. And artistically speaking, I think it's a better kind of country music. It's the country that, real music lovers embrace. But it's the kind of country that if we could ever get it on the radio, that the people would absolutely love.
Some acts like the Dixie Chicks are betting that the future is a blend of pop and traditional country.
When's the last time you heard a banjo on a record? Until they came along. As a matter of fact, I used to tell Emily, we'll never get the banjo on the radio. I have no clue how we're going to pull this off. And she pretty much just went, well, you better figure it out because I'm going to play it.
Wide open spaces, room to make her big mistakes. She needs new faces. She knows the highest stakes.
We take pride that we're bringing back
some of the older traditional sounding things and making it sound more modern. But that could be the sound for now, and later on that's not going to be the sound anymore. So we'll just enjoy it. Ride it while we
Kid, I was born to lead this life I live.
The 90s, country's greatest decade. Soaring sales, artists who are household names, and more fans than ever.
Rock this land, rock this land, rock this land. The world needs a rockin' and I ain't stopping till it's done.
But this success has been a century in the making.
Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise the Lord, I saw the light.
The thing that I feel is important in country music is that we don't lose the heart of it, and we don't lose the respect for the heritage of country music.
D for Texas, D for Tennessee.
It was a century of country that started in Bristol, Tennessee, where in one remarkable week, the music's founders were both discovered.
That gal that made a wreck out of me.
There's never been anybody with a clearer, more distinctive, well-known voice than Jimmy Rogers.
The thing that's beautiful about the Carter family's music is that actually they do sort of come right out and say it. And that kind of purity and that honesty and that just laying it all out so simply that it does really break your heart sometimes.
Well, you sleep out every night, and the only law is right. Back in the saddle again.
It was a century where the cowboy brought country music to Hollywood and to audiences all over America.
Free life, fresh air. Gene Autry on his horse it took the nation by storm.
Gonna have fun tonight, gonna get right tonight. Everything will be alright, because tonight is Saturday night.
A century that put the honky-tonk on the map.
Because I'm gonna have fun and feel no pain.
It was a call from the other side of the tracks, and honky-tonkin' is a wonderful thing to me. It's a great release. It's a great Saturday night.
A century of great songwriters like Hank Williams.
A memory from your lonesome past keeps us so far apart. Why can't I free your doubtful mind and melt your cold, cold heart?
What causes a body to write that? Where does that come from? He was mentally in a different place than most of us.
A century where women came into their own.
Tonight I'm in his arms, but it just don't seem the same. I've cheated and I'm guilty. My heart can't stand this pain.
They were all my heroes because I thought, wow, these women are able to do this in the midst of all these guys.
You ain't nothing
A century of rockabillys and rebels.
far from Folsom Prison, that's where I want to stay. And I'd let that lonesome whistle blow my blues away. Whiskey will take my mind. Never memories of me.
This century of country has seen America's most popular music grow up from a music played around the house to a music that is played around the world. But for those who listen, no matter how popular country music becomes, it's still the music of real life and regular folks.
Yeah, he's gone country, a new kind of walk. He's gone country, a new kind of talk.
At the end of the day, we're hillbilly pickers. That's what keeps it in perspective for me. I'm a hillbilly guitar player, hillbilly mandolin player, hillbilly singer, and damn proud of it.
Hey, he's gone country, 'cause everybody's gone country. Yeah, we've gone country, the whole world's gone country.
As one century ends, a new century of country is beginning. Each generation taking the music, making it its own. Decades ago, the mothers and fathers of country asked a musical question. And today we have the answer. The circle is unbroken. And it will stay that way as long as there are voices to sing and hearts with something to sing about. I'm James Gardner.
They came from the neon city, suburb